thought he was just punching me. He didn't know he was provoking a nation. And awakening a ghost. My name is James. My life has been defined by unexpected turns. For years, it was a quiet, steady path. A loving marriage to my wife, Sarah. The pure, unadulterated joy of raising our 2 children, Leo and Chloe. Sarah and I built a life on modest means, but it was rich in love, laughter, and shared dreams. We weren't wealthy by any measure. I worked as a meslekati, ornithologist, warehouse supervisor, honest work, enough to keep the lights on, food on the table, and the occasional treat for the kids. Then, 2 years ago, the system suffered a catastrophic failure I could never have prepared for. Sarah was taken from us in a car accident. One moment, she was there, her smile the sun in our lives. The next, she was gone. Just like that. The void she left was immense. For me, and for Leo, who was then 4, and Chloe, then 6. Picking up the pieces was the hardest thing I've ever done. The grief was a physical weight. But I couldn't crumble. I had Leo and Chloe. They needed me. So, you keep going. You become both mother and father. You learn to braid hair with clumsy fingers, to soothe nightmares you don't understand, to answer endless questions about where mommy went. Every day was a struggle, a balancing act between my own sorrow and their need for stability and happiness. The budget was tighter than ever. Luxuries were non-existent. Public transport became our lifeline to everywhere, work, school, groceries, and those rare, precious trips that were just for fun. Through it all, Sarah remained present. Not physically, of course. But in my heart, in my memories, and sometimes, in my dreams. I'd see her smile, hear her laugh. In moments of doubt, I'd close my eyes, imagine her beside me, her hand on my shoulder. It sounds strange, I know. But it felt real. Like her love was still guiding me. Helping me make decisions for the kids. A silent partner in my struggle. Last month, something happened that shook our fragile system to its core. Leo, now 6, and Chloe, now 8, had been asking for weeks to go to the new family fun center downtown. It was expensive, a treat we could barely afford, involving 2 bus transfers. But seeing their excitement. I saved up, planned the whole day. It was going to be just for them. A day to forget, just for a little while, how hard things had been. We were on the second bus, about halfway there. The bus was crowded, typical Saturday afternoon. The kids were buzzing, pressed against the window, pointing things out. I was just watching them, a rare moment of peace amidst the stress. That's when the trouble started. A man, maybe in his late 20s, clearly agitated and loud, started yelling at the bus driver about something. Then he turned his aggression onto the passengers. He was big, intimidating. He started making crude comments. People were trying to ignore him, shifting in their seats. He locked eyes with me. Maybe because I looked soft. Easy target? I don't know. He started shouting directly at me. Demanding my seat, even though there weren't any free. Calling me names. All the while, Leo and Chloe were right there, next to me. Their eyes were wide with fear. Leo grabbed my arm. Chloe buried her face in my side. Their little bodies were trembling. My instinct, my gut reaction was to stand up, to confront him, maybe put him back in his place. But I looked down at my kids. Their terrified faces. Sarah's voice, or what I imagined her voice would be in that moment, echoed in my head, "Stay calm, James. Protect the children. Their safety is everything." So I stayed seated. I didn't respond to his insults. I just put my arms around my kids, trying to shield them, whispering to them that it would be okay. My silence, my lack of reaction, he took it as weakness. It seemed to enrage him even more. He stepped closer. And then, without warning, with my children clinging to me, he swung a hard, fast punch directly to my face. My glasses flew off. Pain exploded in my nose. I heard a sickening crack. I remember seeing Leo and Chloe flinch, scream. Their fear turned into outright terror, tears streaming down their faces. Blood immediately started pouring from my nose. I stumbled back slightly in the seat, still trying to hold on to the kids. The man, he just stood there for a second, puffing out his chest, looking proud of himself. Then, as other passengers finally started to react, yelling at him, the bus driver pulling over, he quickly pushed his way off the bus and vanished into the street crowd. Just like that. Left me bleeding, my nose clearly broken, and my children sobbing uncontrollably in my arms. The rest of that day, the fun center was forgotten. We went to the emergency room. Diagnosis, nasal fracture. A broken nose. More medical bills I couldn't afford. But the physical pain, that was nothing compared to the damage to my kids. Leo and Chloe were traumatized. They couldn't stop shaking. They kept replaying the moment, the man's angry face, the punch. They had nightmares for days. Seeing their fear, knowing I couldn't protect them in that moment, it was a worse blow than any punch. I felt like a failure. Sarah. I imagined her watching, her heart breaking for our children, weeping beside me, unable to reach out. The feeling of letting them down, letting her down, it was unbearable. The silent partner felt distant, heartbroken. The incident affected everything. Leo and Chloe, normally outgoing, became withdrawn, scared. They didn't want to take the bus anymore. Getting them to school became a daily struggle. They'd jump at loud noises. Any tall man walking too close would make them flinch. It was clear they needed help beyond what I could provide. I started looking into child therapy, psychiatrists. But the costs, they were astronomical. More bills, more stress. My fragile system was breaking. A man named Victor Sterling. In his late 50s. Today, he's a highly successful, legitimate businessman, running a large construction and real estate empire. But rumors, quiet whispers, implied that his past wasn't always conventional. That his rise involved navigating different kinds of systems in his younger days. Systems that operated outside the law, but often had their own strict code of justice. Victor Sterling saw the video. He saw Leo and Chloe's faces, their terror. Something in it affected him deeply. Perhaps it reminded him of a different time. A different code. He decided that the bully, this Ethan, his name surfaced through online detective work based on the video, needed to be held accountable. Not just by the system of law, but by a system he understood more intimately. A system of ensuring behavior had immediate, undeniable consequences. Victor Sterling didn't contact me. Not at first. He contacted people who worked for him. People who specialized in problem solving. People who understood discretion and efficiency. He showed them the video. Gave them Ethan's name and address, once that data was confirmed. I only learned the details later, from news reports and police summaries. One evening, around 9 p.m., while Ethan was home, Victor Sterling's problem-solving team paid him a visit. 3 men. Professional. Quiet. They didn't enter the house. They waited until he came outside, perhaps lured him out by a staged car issue. There was no lengthy argument. No public spectacle. Just, a swift, efficient delivery of consequences. Ethan resisted, of course. He was a bully, used to easy targets. But he wasn't prepared for a team that operated with cold, calculated effectiveness. Accounts differ slightly, but the core outcome is consistent. Ethan was given a clear, painful, and unforgettable lesson on consequence management. Nothing permanent. Nothing life-threatening. Just the kind of physical reminder that makes you rethink your life choices. Enough to ensure he wouldn't be punching random strangers, especially fathers protecting their children, anytime soon. Crucially, Victor Sterling's team ensured that their delivery was timed and executed in a way that would complement, not hinder, the official system. After the lesson was delivered and the team vanished as quietly as they arrived, neighbors who had heard the commotion called the police. Ethan, bruised and shaken, was found by responding officers. The police, already aware of the viral video and the nationwide search for the bus bully, immediately recognized him from the footage. His face, even bruised, was undeniable evidence. He was arrested on the spot. The video, David Chen's amateur recording, became key evidence. Ethan, the bully, was charged with assault. Given the viral video, the public outcry, and the clear evidence, his case was straightforward. He was found guilty and sentenced to 18 months in prison. Not a life sentence, but enough time to hopefully reconsider his behavior. The official system reinforced the lesson delivered by the unofficial one. Victor Sterling contacted me a week after Ethan's arrest. He explained, in a straightforward, no-nonsense manner, why he did what he did. He didn't want thanks. He simply believed in a certain kind of balance. A certain kind of justice that needed to be expedited. He offered his help. Not as a favor, but as an investment. An investment in ensuring my family's system was restored and secured. Victor set up a trust fund for Leo and Chloe's education. He ensured I received the best possible care for my broken nose and arranged for a child psychologist specializing in trauma, covered entirely. He even connected me with opportunities for better paying work, leveraging his business network. It wasn't charity. It felt like the universe course-correcting. A powerful external force entering my broken system and fixing the critical faults. The change in our lives was profound. The financial stress eased, allowing me to focus on healing and helping my children heal. The psychological support made a world of difference for Leo and Chloe. They slowly, gradually, started to feel safe again. The fear began to fade. Their laughter returned. Brighter this time. Victor Sterling remained a presence in our lives, a quiet guardian. Not intrusive, but always there if needed. His unexpected act of expedited justice and subsequent generosity, combined with the support from strangers across the nation, rebuilt our system. It wasn't the life Sarah and I had planned. It was different. But it was stable. Secure. And filled with a deep sense of gratitude. And Sarah? In my quiet moments, in my dreams. I felt her presence more clearly than ever. Not weeping anymore. Smiling. Peaceful. As if the balance had been restored for her too. As if her silent partnership in my struggle had finally yielded a peaceful outcome for our children. Her Hyle, her image in my mind, her spirit, was happy. Some might call this vigilantism. Some might call it extreme. I call it justice. A father, trying to protect his children, failed by an aggressive bully, and then supported, uplifted, and defended by the unexpected strength of a community, a nation, and a man who understood that sometimes, the system needs a little, unconventional maintenance. Have you ever witnessed or experienced a moment where justice was delivered in an unexpected way? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below.